In this video, we're going to go over when hyperbolas are not centered at 0, 0, they have been shifted. And so they're going to have a center of HK. As you can see in this diagram, my origin is right here. So it's been shifted up and to the right. Here's my origin right here. And this one has been shifted up and to the right as well. So it is parallel to the X when my X is first. It is parallel to the Y when Y is first. So that's how we can tell the difference. These both have the same formula of B squared equals C squared minus A squared that we've already been using. You have some formulas here on how to find the foci and the vertices. Okay, where that foci is still C and the vertices are still A. And then you have your equations for asymptote. In my math lab, if your hyperbola has been shifted, it's not going to actually ask for the equation of the asymptote. It will then only ask for the slope. And so your slope is that plus or minus B over A or plus or minus A over B, depending on if it's parallel to the X or to the Y. But it's not hard to plug in everything for that equation either, but it's only going to ask for the slope. Now I went ahead and rewrote the formulas down here, which are given right here, right? Your equations, so that it will match these. The only one here that I want to make a note of is, again, if your X comes first, it's opening along the X axis. If your Y is first, it's opening along that Y axis. Be careful though, when I have this equation here. Notice that the center is still HK. And when it is in this form, you have your H, you have your K, it's in order. But when they switch your X and Y, now my H is over here to the left, or to the right, and my K is over here to the left. So they switch the order. So it's H, K, it's still X comma Y. Okay, so be careful with that, which is exactly what it's showing up here as well. HK is your center. So be careful when the center on these right here, the transverse axis parallel to the Y. So we only really have one example of this. And here's my sheet. We've already done example 5 in the last video because it was still centered at 0, 0. So I kind of added that on. So this one, find the equation of the hyperbola with it centered at -1, 2, one focus at -4, 2, and one vertex at -3, 2. So let's plot those points. We have the center at -1, 2. One of my focus is at -4, 2. I'll label that F. And one vertex is at -3, 2. All right, so I can see my center and my 2 vertices right here. Those all need to be on the same line. So that means my transverse axis is parallel to the X axis. So that tells me the equation that I'm going to use. That means I'm using the equation of X minus H squared over A squared minus Y minus K squared over B squared equals 1. Because it's transverse axis along the x, it means my x needs to come first. Okay, so we know my h and my k. Here's h, here's k. I'm gonna actually go ahead and put those in my formula here. That is x plus 1 squared, right, minus a negative 1. And then we will have y minus k, which is 2. Okay, so what I am lacking here is my a and my b. Well, I'm given some of that here. Here, if my vertex is 2 away from my center, that tells me my a. So my a is 2, which therefore means my a squared is 4. Then from my center, my focus is 1, 1, 2, 3 over. So therefore, my c squared is 9. So let's use our formula of b squared equals c squared minus a squared to find b. So I can plug that in here. Because I do have a squared, right? A squared's at 4. So let's see what b squared is. So b squared equals 9 minus 4. So my b squared is 5. So b squared is 5. So there's my equation. After we find the equation with all of this information, now I need to graph my equation. All right, so I only have one vertex and one focus. So let's put the other 2 on there. So if this vertex has an a of 2, I'm going to go 2 in the other direction. So here's my focus, or my vertex. And then if my focus is 3 away, then I'm going to go 3 away in the opposite direction. And so now I have all of those points on my graph. Now I need to make my box, put my asymptotes, and then I can draw my hyperbola. So we have b squared is 5, which means b equals plus or minus the square root of 5, which is about 2.2. So let's put this on our graph. From this point here, I'm going up 1, 2, and some change. Then from my center, I'm going to go down 1, 2, and some change. So make your box around your 2 B's and the vertexes. Once you have your box, draw in your asymptotes, which goes from the box, it goes corner to corner through the middle. And the other side, corner to corner through the middle. And so then we will go from vertex and then start hugging that asymptote. Vertex, hug the asymptote. Vertex, hug. Vertex, hug. So there is my hyperbola with a center at -1, 2, one focus at -4, 2, and one vertex at -3, 2.